Hi, Chaitra. Where are you able to hear me?
Sir.
Okay. So, if you don't hear my voice, please let me know immediately.
Okay, sir.
So, class number 10, right, guys? Like supplier conversion, two parts, right? So, class 10. Price list conversion is by using API.
So from interface to base table.
Yes. Directly here, file to staging, then staging to interface. There is no interface concept here. Directly base table. That is the advantage of the API. Two steps only. And that it is a ready-made code. If you wanted to know what all the APIs are available, as you know, well, like you can go with the integrated server gateway only. Here, the interface, you can use PLSQL. Okay, here is the place. In order management suite, we can see that. Advanced pricing. And then you can check here, QP list per. There is a, yeah. You check. No, this is different here. Yeah, this is the one. QP price list properties. So this is a package actually. It contains all the price list information. Like price list, process price list. We can do all the operations. We can do all the operations means we can create a like a price list and we can update it and we can do a delete operations. And then here is the place like your API name. In this API will have a certain mandatory parameters. These are all the mandatory version number, initialization, your messages initialization, return values, commit. These are all the return status. API will return the values. It may be a unexpected success failure, this kind of thing. So you can see a description here clearly. These are all mandatory parameters. API mandatory parameters. Price list, line table, attributes, all this. So as of now, we came to know through integrated server gateway. The API name here is QP price list from dot price list name here. These are all the mandatory parameters. 7 mandatory parameters will be there. Process price list. By using this API, we can create a price list here. Usually price list where you can see is you can go to Oracle Pricing Manager. There are two responsibilities here. One is purchasing, the other one is global. Now you can create over here. It is manually. If you want to load thousands of prices, then definitely you have to depend on this API. What is the use of API or open conversion or interfaces? To load the larger volume of data. 1 record, 10 records, 20 records, they can do manually also, end users. But here we have to use the API or open interface to load the bulk data. Now that is the overview. Now just check the code here. We have to search. Which one of three? Okay, here you can take. It's advanced version only. This will not take time because you know the process end to end. So you will have a 3 files here: headers, lines, attributes. There is no distribution here. Header table, lines table, and then attribute table. One-to-many relationship here. So now once you have a file here, you need to create a tables here. These are all the tables. Actually, we need to take a limited columns, but I have taken all the columns, copy paste from a interface table or base table. So first what you can do, you can create a tables here. Based on a base table or interface table, you can take a script here. New batch, right?
So,
Or not?
one of them.
Do you know conversion? Have you gone through supplier conversion?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. So these are all already there here. Yeah. You can delete also. The attribute table. We have other tables as well. Header table, line table. Lines. Mostly majority of the columns are not usable. But still we took the entire script. If you don't have a time, you can take the entire script. Okay, now all the rows are, all the tables are empty. See, correct? Now what will be next step here is, as soon as you have a files here, CSV files. This is the first step is right now. So second step is inside of it, file to staging. You need to design a control file. Okay. CTL file. Structure of control file, you know very well, right? So what are all the things we can do in the control file?
Load data.
Yeah, syntax it is, right? Load data. Prior to load data, there is one more keyword options. Yes. Then next
Next, if I can load into required
table name, right?
Then from table and
append or insert or replace, translate, whatever, truncate, whatever we. So that control file is also readily available here. These are all. You can see skip is equal to 3. Earlier I took only 1 or something, right? Now it is 3 records we are skipping. Load data. These are all for to avoid special characters or in file append to table. So these are all common only, right? All copy paste. Only table is changed, correct? So here table I am using the original table. This original table. Or you can give your own name also. This is a table. Replace it. And these are all the columns. And here, always to populate record status as a new, then you can use a constant keyword. Constant keyword which is used to populate a default values. Okay. Constant keyword. Now save this. In the same way, all other files. Here also you need to change. Check are there any other. Here also record status, new record. And one more final, that is attributes. That's it. Overall, 3 control files are ready. These 3. And 3 input files are ready. Okay. And this all why we took SQL is to migrate from one instance to other instance. SQL file will be useful here. SQL is a file extension here. Now let's go to the server. It will not take 30 minutes, more than 30 minutes, this entire explanation. What is the cycle pending, right? That we'll cover today. Control O to open the directory. Here also you can go ahead. If Oracle application server is not appearing, you check with the U01 or something. It's just an installation, nothing else. ONT we have to use ONT, order management. Okay. Bin you can check. If bin is not there, we can create again. Okay. Someone is already practiced. Can remove also. Then here is a place. Instead of ITM, we can just give some other. XX is a client name, client naming convention. These 3 files. Control files we are keeping into bin directory. Text files you can keep in other directory, but still we are keeping in the same directory. We will have one more input directory. So 3 control files, 3 CSV files are kept here only. Next step is here, register as a concurrent program. We are here still. We have a 3 files, 3 staging tables, 3 control files. So now what we are doing? We are registering a program. Go with the executable. Order management is. Safety. Define. As usually, first parameter is file type. Or repetitive, right? Headers over. Next is lines. I'm moving fastly because you know the steps already. Otherwise, you'll feel bored. Sorry, 240 characters. Mandatory. File here. Wherever the file is there, that directory we have to pass. F4. Next is attributes, right? Okay, order management, do you know request group name? If you don't know, you can go to responsibility, define your responsibility name, you can check. This is a request group, OEM concurrent programs. One time, if you know, the next time you can attach it. Okay, there are so many XXs. XX underscore XXPRI. I'll take the name better. Okay, make sure like someone could have loaded already. The name I'm giving another name. Like let's say triplet at the end. Only one record I'm testing. You can include more records. Yeah, if you change in the header, you have to change in the lines also. Okay. You can submit all the programs one by one or request it, as I mentioned. File name. We have not taken mandatory, that's why it is not showing yellow color. We have checked the checkbox. Okay, 3 files. Let's see the data, whether it is received or not. Headers data is there, lines data is there. Staging. Attribution not yet completed.
So we can save the triple M, but we did not move to server.
No, I think I saved in server only directly. Not, no?
No. Triple M.
Okay. We change in the local machine. We'll rerun a program again, although that's fine. Like you will get like if any duplicate records. Okay. So 3 over. Now come to the second portion. Second portion is like all the coding part. Triplet is there. Lines, 4 lines you can see. Still running. Go back. Okay. Attributes not loaded, is it?
Yes.
Is there any table change? Yeah, table is different. Is loading. It is not showing.
Maybe now let's skip three.
Yeah, that is correct. Good catch. So pricing attributes, right? So all the, okay, after skipping three only, right? Why it is not loading? Did we given same
Survey rate permissions.
permissions? That is it. In this directory, without permissions also it has taken. No, it is loading attributes. It is truncating. We have not seen this. We can use append. Okay. So now, as of now, first step only completed. File to staging. Second is staging to base table here. There is no interface concept here. Alternatively, in place of that only, we have got API. So API module to module, it will change. Item to, for equation one API, for view another API, like that it is. For item another API. So this API names you have to check through integrated server gateway only. Just before we have seen, right? Now every API will have a parameters, mandatory parameters. 7 parameters will be there mandatory. You can check by describing API version name, return status. These are all gap is there. These are all mandatory parameters. You need to learn all this. 4 input parameters, 3 output parameters. Return status means here you can see the description here clearly. Okay, they are not given here, but I'll give you the notes. So what are the values of return values? Return status. Anyway, just giving a value only. Now go to the package. This is the package. Package extension is, it must be PKS, PKB, package spec and body. But whenever you are migrating from lower instance, like development to testing, testing to production, we'll move together. So we'll keep inside of the SQL file, both spec and body, and then we'll give it to the DBA, or we'll give it to the third party, we are migrating. So this is a spec and body. Usually it will be separately saved as a PKS, package specification. And this one must be a PKB, package body. So that is the advantage of .SQL file it is. Usually for migration only it will be helpful here. One parameter, 2 parameters here, error buff and red code. If you don't use those 2 parameters, it will give inconsistent or incorrect arguments. Okay, that check the exact message. Now come to the procedure. Only single procedure it is. Okay. Come to first. As of now, return status is null only API. We haven't executed. So these are all some parameters here. Apps initialization. Okay. If you are submitting from your own user, your user ID will be assigned automatically to this X user ID. So that is called as a profile here, FND profile.value. So profiles, where can you say is, you can say into one responsibility, system administrator. Here is a place. This is the front end for profiles. And through backend, if you want to get it, you can use this API. This is also an API, FND profile.value, user ID. So if you are submitting the program through operations user, operation user ID will come. If I am submitting from Madhu user user ID will come here. The user ID will be available into FND user right table. In the same way, if you are submitting through pricing responsibility or order management, that related responsibility ID, responsible application ID will be applicable here. And org ID, vision operations, vision services. What is your branch? That is an org ID. So without all these four values, your API will fail. Okay. That is the reason why instead of passing manually, we are asking to system to take from environment itself. That is advantage here. 5 values: user ID, RESP ID, application ID, login ID, and org ID also. Okay. So where are you passing these values? You are passing it to API. Compile. Before calling API, we have to initialize it. Initialization, I'll show you. Yeah, here, this way. If you comment this line, your API will fail immediately. FND global package, FND profile, both are packages only. Apps initialization means you are initializing to make it work. You are indicating to API saying that you are submitting through some user, through some responsibility, through some application ID like that. So this line you need to understand. Without this, API will fail. Now, while using API, you may get errors. For that errors, there is another API is required. This API. FND message from dot count and get. If you want to make it work this API, then again one more initialization is required. Go that another API is this one. Okay. If you don't use this, that error handling will API will fail. Copy. One more. FND global.
Absolutely.
Right. So what is the advantage of this? To handle, to initialize error API. And this is to before calling API, it's mandatory. Okay. Now, other than that, how you populated user ID, RESP ID, RESP application IDs by using? Yes, these are all. So all are there. Okay. Just we should know one line how it works. Are you okay till now? And error API. In the exception block only, you can see that. Exception block. This one, FND message popped out. Why I kept a for loop over here is if there are more messages, if count is greater than 0, more messages, you are concatenating all the errors. If you one error, fine. If there are 10 errors, how you handle is with the help of the for loop. These 4 points are important. So what is the purpose of this?
To count the error. This is mainly to handle errors. This in entire API, these 4 points are important. And API parameters. What are the API parameters? 4 input, 3 output parameters. You need to remember the names also, like API, return status, init message list. These are all okay. Just go to the API, spend some time. These are all till now. Okay. These are all the mandatory parameters. In interviews also, people will ask you many times. So are you okay till now? Yeah.
Okay, now let's go to the validation part. Without validating, we should not insert a data. It will not take also. So what type of the data we have to validate? First header table go. This name. This name should be very new because we are loading a new data only, right? If it is already loaded by someone, say this is already loaded by someone. If it is already loaded by someone, what you have to do? We have to make it as an error.
So as of now, it is new record. We haven't validated. In supplier conversion, we took it as a null value. Null means it's a new record. But here we are straight away saying it's a new record. We haven't touched anything. So how it is came automatically? In the control file, we kept constant keyword, right? Okay. Now only one validation, second validation also, currency validation and then name validation. Type also you can take it. By data only we have to assume like how many validations is required. Go. So we are here still. Here only. Go up slowly. First three data is there, three cursors is required till now. Till now or till here, only cursor. Cursor name is select statement. Cursor name, and then cursor with parameter it is, and here also for which name and for which line number it is. Okay, and these are all three cursors. Now this fnd profile dot put, if you want to enable any profile name, actually there is a profile name option is required here for a particular responsibility. Oracle pricing manager global. Okay, for this, if you want to enable any profile option name like source system code, okay, this one, see, QP source system code is Oracle pricing. This from front end we have enabled. If you want to do it programmatically, then what we have to do is we need to use this API fnd profile dot put, and QP source system code is QP means quality pricing. Right now it is a Oracle pricing or quality pricing, both are same. Code is quality pricing. It's already enabled. If it is not there, then how to enable is with this line only you can enable. The only advantage with this line is, one second. Tell me what is the advantage of this line? Right. To enable profile option. Okay. Without this enabling, then you will not be able to add item here. In the same way, organization code, organization ID is 101. We can make it to another organizations also. And this we already discussed, correct? And these are all we are printing. Whatever we don't know the values. These are all dynamically it will change. User ID, resp ID. And this you know already. What is this? Message population initialization. Main for loop we are introducing. This is the syntax for loop. How to validate a name? QP list status is a base table. We are checking the count. If there are 3-4 records in that particular table, then immediately we are making as an error. It's very simple code, right? Just very simple. No, not even exception also. Just if condition. If it is count is there greater than 0, then error. In the same way, another anonymous block. This is anonymous block. This is one more anonymous block. Nameless block it is. The currency, whatever you are passing, if it is not there in the system, invalid currency code you are typing. You have to type all this in the system. The next is, these are all default values we are passing. Okay, currency code USD, creating sample prices 3. These are all common descriptions. Okay. And second for loop. So this is for line level. Line level, we are not for attribute. Okay, these are in the attribute level. We are doing validation as UOM, unit of measurement. You can check here somewhere. Oracle pricing. In the third attribute level. Very. So is there any UOM here, unit of measure? Yeah, it's there. Okay, unit of measurement is each laptop, how much, each mobile, how much kind of thing it is. Unit of measurement table is this one. Till now, how many validations we have seen? What are they? Yeah, names. Priceless name, currency. Right, exactly. In supplier, we have seen 2030, right? But here very less. And these are all the values, default values we have passed. And finally, what you can do, you can call a API. While calling API, these are all position, this notation, you know, right? This notation in the PLSQL, just giving arguments. After giving arguments, if a API is successfully called through this parameter, your API will be yes. Yes means success. API executed successfully. And it is giving a return status also, printing as yes. And finally, if the records are executed, we have to save as a processed. Initially, what was the value you have taken? New. Null is in that supplier conversion. But here, see, you can take new or null also, that's up to you. But here we have took as a new and processed. If there are more errors, message count is your API only will give. If more errors, then we have to put a for loop and we are printing into log button here. Okay. Then after that, finally, if you are getting more errors, then small anonymous block here. What we are doing with this? We are updating error message as well as status both. With single update message also we can do instead of two. Okay. And commit is also required here. Commit. If you don't commit, you will not be able to see the error records. Committing is mandatory. And finally, if something goes wrong, what we are printing as not execute. Yeah, else condition. So here, somewhere where you have seen here API executed if condition. We are in else right now. If we check here, else. If condition success, else condition obviously failure. In else condition only what we are doing, people will ask you in exception block, will be able to do some transactions. Yes, we are doing here. Update records. And finally, we are putting, you know this, in when others than SQL, there is one more also there. Code. SQL code, SQL ARM. Or what are the highlight points in this? Can you tell me? Go down. Oh yeah. First is initialization. Okay. Then as you said, this one initialization, error initialization, validations. After validations, API status, yes for success. Else condition, what we are doing? We are putting for loop and handling errors. That's it. It's easy only, right? Likewise, only you can see all other conversions. Only first time you face difficulty. The second time onwards, it's easy only. Just check, is it registered already into the application? What you can do, you can compile this. F5 we can use. Just simply take this, go to the top. F5, function 5. Function 5, which is used to compile like this. You will get a message. I think it's already registered. Someone is practiced. Order management, right? So today we'll sit for O2C, guys. Is that okay? Somewhere. Little evening, I'll have a free time. It's already there. Registration, you know, right? PLSQL short procedure. View output. You cannot see anything. View log. Error, success, everything you can see here only. See, these are all the values, how it is printing. We only printed here. Error count, yeah, see. Error message count is 2.
price list name already exists. API not executed successfully. There are more than 2 errors. That's why it is giving error. API is successful. Coding wise, no issue at all. But it is saying here, price list name is already exist. And check the tables also. Instead of new, still new. Okay. I had a record. It is already exist. So that Regulate is also there already. So what you have to do? You need to change the name and rerun a program. Just name change. Okay. Let's see. Price list header template. Double 7 I gave. What is, I think you already finished, is it? Shall we say workflow instead of that? Workflow better, right? What to see like similar to B2B. What workflow we'll see today? Deleted. Yeah, we'll delete all the records. Okay. In this case, request set also we can create like yesterday. How do you feel like this is good, right? Compared to supplier? Because you already habituated with the terminology, process, that's why it is easy. Directly, if I select price list also, you'll not be able to understand. Check backend. Okay, yeah, maybe attributes not processed. Okay. So check the front end application. Where to go? Oracle pricing manager. Look, do not go purchasing. Okay. Local. This is only one record, guys. You can give thousands of records. It will load. This is a record. The company also will get 1,000, 3,000, 10,000 like that. It is. See, it is loaded today, 15 July. And loaded through which user? Operations user. So this is the. For attributes, you may find another API that you can call it, but right now till letters is fine. So that's about the second one.
So if you have any questions, let me know in this. Simply loading the data to SQL loader. Instead of SQL loader, we have a UTL file also we can use. But SQL loader is preferable here. Okay. So I'll give you right away code. You will go through it. Okay. Guys, online, do you have any questions? Chaitra, Karthik,
No, sir.
Kiran? Shivana, Srihari, do you have any questions in this? You
As
finish
of now,
first video finish it, so that you will not get any doubts in the second conversion. Okay. So better come office here. People are practicing more than 10 hours here. Okay.
sure, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.